what's happening? It's the Beast Bailey back. And it is just in time for college football. Man, this season has gone by this offseason has gone by so quick. College football is right around the corner. This Saturday, we have some games this Saturday, like Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. And then you're getting to the big games on the 3rd, September 3rd, which is next Saturday. I haven't made any videos in a long time. It's been about 5 months since I made a video. Obviously, got the room painted. This is the room that was that gray, dark gray, whatever that color was. Had the pinstripes. We got it cleaned out. It's not cleaned out, but it is. We've got it painted. We started getting some of the stuff hung up. I still got some more stuff I got to put up. Some more stuff that's laying around here. But, yeah. So, yeah, man, this room is starting to get there. I wanted to get the room kind of done with what I had before the season started. And so we are on track for that. So, yeah. One of the main things I wanted to talk about in this video was Georgia's potential record for 2022. How could the Bulldogs play going into this season? Obviously, some of the big question marks with Georgia this year was the defense. That is really the biggest question mark, was the defense. And under Kirby Smart, Georgia has had a top 10, top 5, and number 1 defense in the country under Kirby Smart. I don't think Georgia's defense has ever been outside the top 10, except maybe his first year when he was coaching in 2016. So I think he's had a top 10 defense every year except for that first year, but he might have had one at the end of the year. I mean, I don't know. I know that we lost 5 games that first year, but they weren't really blowout losses. They were just kind of either close, low-scoring games. So, some of the key returners we had coming back, obviously Jalen Carter on the interior defensive line. Outside linebacker, Nolan Smith. Also outside linebacker, Robert Beal, which is a huge, kind of an under-the-radar player. It's his 6th year in college football. Robert Beal was the leading sacker at the end of last year. Did y'all know that? It wasn't Davis, Carter, it wasn't Nolan Smith, it wasn't N'Kobe, it wasn't Tyndall, it wasn't Walker. It was Robert Beal. He was the leading sacker at the end of last year. So Robert Beal also only played half the season as a starter. He went out when Adam Anderson was kicked off the team. And Adam Anderson was the leading sacker. And if Adam Anderson was still on the team, he probably would have finished the year as the leading sacker. But Robert Beal took over around week 6 or week 7 whenever he got kicked off. And he became the leading sacker. So Robert Beal, Nolan Smith is huge on the outside, the linebacker position. But the biggest question mark, and this is the number 1 question mark on the defense, is the interior linebackers, because we lost all of our starters. Now, Georgia rotates players more than a lot of teams do. And they also play a lot of players. That is something Kirby does, and that is something that Kirby takes pride in. He wants everybody to play on the defense. Well, not so much for offense, but defense, you're going to play. So there's a couple of freshmen, a couple of sophomores, I think some redshirt freshmen, maybe some redshirt sophomores. I don't know what their year is. I know that I think one of them was a freshman. I know that Dumas Johnson, I can't think of his first name, he will probably be a starter, and I've heard that he has done really well. The other guy, I cannot think of his name. His name is escaping my mind. I can't think of his name. I know what number he is, but I can't think of his name. But he will start. It's number 10 or 13. I think it's 13. I think Dumas Johnson is 10, and the other guy's 13. Those 2 guys will probably be the starters, and they will also rotate in and out with some other redshirt sophomores and some other sophomores and maybe some juniors. They'll all rotate in and out. Kirby rotates players. And the secondary for Georgia, crazy as it might sound, the secondary is probably going to be the best group on the team. And typically, Georgia's secondary is usually the worst group on the team, or the least impactful. Georgia does have some good players. Georgia usually has one good player in the secondary every year. Like one guy you can count on to make the play. Last year was Lewis Seen. Darion Kendrick was okay. Lewis Seen was a guy. We had Richard LeCount. We had Tyson Campbell. We had a lot of these guys, you can count on them to make plays. We did lose Lewis Seen. We lost Latavius Brini to the transfer portal. He went to Arkansas. Big pickup for Arkansas. I was hoping to keep Brini with the team. William Poole is coming back. Now, I did hound William Poole last year after the SEC championship game, but William Poole absolutely redeemed himself in the Natty. Dude played like a monster. So we got William Poole coming back. We have Christopher Smith coming back, who I really like Christopher Smith. Keely Ringo's coming back, third and Ringo. He's coming back. Dan Jackson's coming back. Tyke Smith, who was an All-American at West Virginia, transferred to Georgia last year towards ACL, didn't even play. He's coming back. Now, Tyke Smith, don't know much on how he's going to play. He hasn't played in a couple of years now, so we'll see how he plays. So that is huge. The secondary is returning a lot. We're only losing Lewis Seen and Brini, but we're returning a lot at the secondary. And I believe, now you could say this is a hot take, but I believe Georgia's secondary is going to be the best group on the team. And typically that is not the case. Georgia's always had a secondary that was never elite. These really are not elite guys. They're just, they're great guys. They're good and great players. They're not elite. And so, yeah, they're not elite. They're not. They're great and good. That's what they are. And so, I truly believe our secondary is going to be the best overall position group. The DBs, the safeties, and the corners. I believe that they're just going to be the best group on the team on the defense. Now, the interior linemen, I believe Zion Logue. Our defensive line, Zion Logue, and the other guy's name is escaping my mind. He's got like a long name. They will be starters along with Jalen Carter, and I told you about the interior linemen. So Georgia's defense lost a lot of key pieces. They did. I think they lost like eight or nine players to the draft. Lost a lot of key players. And we lost a lot to the transfer portal. Amir Speed transferred out. Latavius Brini transferred out. So we lost some pieces. But we're returning a lot, and we have a lot of talent. Offense, I have no worries on offense except for can Stetson Bennett play the same, or can he excel his game? Stetson Bennett is what he is. We all know that. I gave him a hard time last year. He is what he is. He's a quarterback with limited. He has talent, but his talent level has he hit his ceiling, or is there more he can achieve? We're going to find that out this year. If he can achieve his playing ability, and that means can he get over 3,000? Can he get over 3,500 yards? I think that would be a huge achievement for him. Also, can he get over maybe 35 touchdowns? Maybe hit that 40 mark on the touchdown. If Georgia, if Stetson Bennett at the end of December, if Stetson Bennett has 38 touchdowns and 3,700 passing yards, Georgia will be 12-0. That's just the facts. Georgia will not lose a game if his stats are like that, because if his stats are like that at the end of the year, Georgia's going to be an undefeated team, because there's no way he's going to have them good stats and have a loss. I just don't see it. Because he would have to play at the highest level every single game. Running backs was a concern, but I'm not too worried about running backs. The offensive line is probably going to be the best offensive line in the country. and maybe not the best in the country, but Georgia's offensive line is going to be a top 3 line. I mean, you got Cedric Van Pran, Broderick Jones, Tate Ratliff is coming back from injury. It's going to be a dang good line, man. Yeah, you got Warren Erickson is going to rotate in and out. It's going to be a good line. I'm excited for it. Wide receivers, Arian Smith did break his ankle a couple of days ago. I mean, he wasn't a starter. He was actually a second-string slot receiver. So, Lab McConkey, Kyrus Jackson, and A.D. Mitchell are the starters as 2 sophomores and I think a redshirt senior. Georgia's wide receivers. I mean, the backups, you got Jackson Saint the third, whatever his name is. You got Arian Smith was one of them. And then, I can't think of the other second string. Yeah. Blaylock. Can Blaylock come back and have a big year? That's a good question. Can Blaylock return to have a good year? So one of the main things that that I'm worried about on the offense was the running game. And that is, Kenny McIntosh is like a James Cook 2.0. I mean, they're going to play him exactly like they played James Cook. Now, excuse me, they will play him like they played James Cook. Kendall Milton is having a hamstring problem. He has just had an injury-riddled career. Branson Robinson is also on the team. Dejon Edwards. We did lose our 5th-string running back. That Avery guy, not Avery, but can't think of his name, but he did tear his ACL in practice. It's unfortunate. Paul, it was something Paul. He tore his ACL. I hate it for him because obviously, he would not have mattered if he played this year, unless all of our running backs got hurt. Then yes, he would have mattered, but I don't see all the backs getting hurt. Hopefully this isn't like a 2015 situation. Lord mercy, God, that was awful that year. Or we had like J.J. Green and Brendan Douglas starting. Whew. That'd be an awful situation to be in. But I'm excited. 2022 it's exciting. Georgia hit this. Georgia won the Natty last year. I mean, obviously. The Dogs won the Natty. We got some confetti right here from the game. The Dogs 33-18. Dogs on top. So Georgia won the Natty. Do I think Georgia's repeating? No, I don't. A lot of Georgia fans, they're on these Facebook group chats and Instagram on these college football pages, and they're just talking about Georgia repeating, going 12-0 and repeating. I do not see that. Now, I do believe Georgia will go 11-1 in the regular season. It's so hard to predict a undefeated season. Do I think Georgia's schedule, they can go 12-0. It is a 12-0 manageable schedule for a top 5 team. It is. But there are 2 teams on this schedule that I think Georgia could lose to. One of those teams is Tennessee. I'm very high on Tennessee. A lot of other SEC fan bases don't understand why, I work with some other fans, some other SEC teams. I work with an Alabama fan and a Florida fan, and they don't understand why I'm so high on Tennessee. And I said, well, Tennessee will probably have the 2nd or 3rd best offense in the SEC behind either Alabama and possibly Mississippi State. So, in terms of offensive production, I think Tennessee is going to be a very good team. Now, it just comes down to Tennessee's defense, if they can improve or not. I think Tennessee could be – Tennessee's ceiling, to me, is 10-2. But I think Tennessee will either be a 10-2 team or a 9-3 team. One or the other. I'm leaning more towards the 9-3 than the 10-2. But Tennessee, they got to come into Athens. And so that's why I'm more lenient to Georgia. if the game was in Knoxville, I would, think more, okay, Tennessee might have that edge. But the game's in Athens, and for Georgia to lose in Athens to Tennessee, it has to be one of them games where Georgia just falls apart. Georgia hasn't lost at home since 2019 in South Carolina, and that was a 4-8 team. And I believe South Carolina had one offensive touchdown. Jake Fromm had 3 or 4 interceptions in that game to the same guy. And one of them was taken back for a pick six. Rodrigo missed a game-winning field goal. And the game just did not go in our favor. We were meant to lose that game from the start. The better team might have won that day. That's probably Will Muschamp's biggest win as a South Carolina head coach. But, yeah, so do I think we're going to beat Oregon? Yes, I do. I think we're going to beat Oregon. The game could be close. It could be a low-scoring, close game. I do not think Oregon's going to blow Georgia out. I don't think Georgia's going to blow them out. I used to think Georgia was going to blow them out, but I truly believe this game will be a close game. It could be something like 35-28, maybe 31-21, 31-24. It's going to be a game like that. I think Oregon will score and move the ball around a little bit. But yeah, the other team that I think Georgia could lose to, and this is really where I think Georgia will lose a game. I think when we go to Mississippi State, we are going to drop that game. Mississippi State's offense is the number one thing Georgia has a hard time stopping. Georgia has a really hard time stopping Mississippi State, or they have a hard time stopping that air raid offense. You go back to 2020 when we had JT Daniels. We had JT. Mississippi State came to Athens. We won that game 31-28. If we didn't have JT Daniels, we would have lost that game. It was a back and forth, and that was Will Rogers' first ever career start. Well, he's still the quarterback. Will Rogers will probably have over 5,000 passing yards this year, as long as he doesn't get hurt. And I believe our secondary is good enough to slow that offense down. But I'm telling you, if Georgia loses any games in 2022, the regular season, it will be to Tennessee or Mississippi State. I don't think Florida has enough in the tank to do it. I don't think Kentucky's going to do it. I don't think South Carolina will. Oregon, no. Hopefully the Dogs go 11-1 or 12-0. I'd love to see it. Even if they go 10-2, I'd be happy with it. But it's just college football's here. That's just my take on the preview of the season. I will do an official Georgia-Oregon preview video hopefully soon. So, yep, hopefully get some more stuff hung up on the wall too. So, yep. Interested in hearing what I have to say about college football this year. I'm going to try to make as many videos as I can. Leave a like and a comment down below. And comment what you think about Georgia's 2022 schedule. Let me know what you think they're going to do. You think Georgia's going to have a good year down here? So subscribe as well. Subscribing is huge around these parts. Peace.